This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonum, where we speak truth to power. We apologize for the break in the stream. It was because of power fluctuation and then an ultimate power cut. We apologize for that. Now, before we went on that disrespectful power cut, we were talking about the Black Star Line Festival that was interrupted and, in fact, disrespectfully stopped. And we were asking a very important question. Did the organizers need to tell the authorities that these were the people who were coming to speak at the event? Certainly no. The organizers did nothing wrong. They asked to have a musical concert at the place. And also for speeches. And this is from the grapevine. As to whether that is true or false. But it's from the grapevine. My brother, the president and his people shamelessly decided to cut it all off. And it's gone. It added that the booking fee of 10,000 Ghana cedis was going to be refunded to the unnamed organizer of the said program. That's what they said. They were not even talking about compensating the organizers of the event. I am so ashamed and I am so devastated that all these wonderful people in the world of Pan-Africanism came over to the country. They have mentored a lot of people from afar, and they are in the country only to take back some sour grapes along to their countries. Mr. President, bring his photo. It's a shame that this happened to us. You are continually pushing this country into shame. After you dismantled and destroyed media freedom, and we descended several steps down the ladder of media freedom, freedom of speech. You went on a borrowing spree, still disgracing us. Right now, it looks like you are taking the disgrace to another level, unprecedentedly. Dash it away. To the organizers, I sympathize with you. And I wish that you will go to court and demand compensation for every penny you spent on this event. To God be the glory. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Next worry. Now, having seen how the event was cancelled, let's find out who was behind the event. And the real reason the event was organized. Freedom, Jacob Caesar, unmasked at last. We all saw the mask on the face of the gentleman here on the billboard, all over Accra and beyond. Massive billboards. Many people were trying to find out who it was. Of course, we said it several times on this show, that from the grapevine, it was Jacob Freedom Caesar, or Freedom Jacob Caesar, aka Cheddar. Now, yesterday he unmasked himself and said he is the face behind that billboard. My brother, he was the organizer of the event that was cancelled. So shamelessly, unfortunately. But my brother, let's go deeper into the event. Then we will look at this gentleman here called Freedom Jacob Caesar, a.k.a. Nana Kwame Bediako, a.k.a. Cheddar. Now, when you look at this guy, handsome that he looks here, you would have to go beyond the handsomeness and find out exactly who he is. But before that, let's go into the event. Now, Cheddar wanted to unmask himself at a ceremony. Without much ado, we can now tell that. He wanted to be able to launch his political party known as the New Force. So, he decided to bring all these Pan-Africanists to talk about Pan-Africanism so that he would also have the opportunity to launch his political career. as to whether that is right or wrong. My brother, it's on to you, and you may have to judge that. Now, when PLO Lumumba was interviewed, he was asked, are you aware that you were brought into the country to fuel the political career of a man that you probably do not know so much about? He denied it and said he was only in Ghana to talk Pan-Africanism and not to fuel anybody's presidential ambition. But of course, if you come to that platform and tens of thousands of people come to listen to you, and they use you as a conduit pipe to launch a political party, then you are also complicit in the whole agenda. I don't know how many people see that. That is why when I'm going to perform anywhere and I see the advert of any product that I do not like, I don't perform there. Every event that I'm invited to, I normally would ask them, who are the organizers, and two, which sponsors are coming on this? If there are products there that I do not subscribe to, I do not perform there. Because when you go there, you are bringing your fans on board. Tens of thousands of them. And when they come, you are going to be advertising to them indirectly products that you do not believe in. My brother, my sister, it's like a Muslim who goes to perform on a platform where pork is advertised. He may not like the pork, he may not need it, but the fact that he is there, he's brought several other Muslims there only to see the advert of pork being shown to them. It's the same thing. So if PLO Lumumba says he was not aware that there was going to be the launch of a new political party and that he was there to fuel the ambitions of a certain presidential aspirant, then I beg to differ. Either he was deceived or he just decided to brush it to the background. And that could be said of the other panelists, those other people who were supposed to be talking, the speakers. Now let's put that aside and look at another interesting thing. Right after the show was cancelled, the following day, billboards were all over Accra showing the real face of Cheddar. And that he is the face behind that mask, and that we should vote him for president. My brother, my sister, is premeditated. He knew that right after this event, he was going to unmask himself. How easy is it for you to already print the billboard, whatever, and the following day they are already out if you did not premeditate that? So, the gentleman here premeditated it. He was using this as a stepping stone to fuel his career and the so-called Pan-Africanist movement. Now, I cannot call this a Pan-Africanist movement for some reasons. Some of them could be a little personal, and others could just be reasons that you already know. Now, one of them is the fact that this is a movement that has a white woman fronting. Do we all remember the Belgian woman? What is the idea of bringing a white woman from Belgium to be the face of a Pan-Africanist movement? We don't hate white people, we love white people, but I am asking, if there was a European movement, an EU movement, are you sure they will go and bring a Nigerian woman to front it? If there was an American patriotic movement, are you sure that they will come to Africa and bring somebody from Tanzania to be the face of that movement? Why us? We all remember a few weeks back, we had this Belgian woman who was supposedly the face of the so-called New Force movement. And how this person did not even have the proper papers to be in Ghana according to the authorities. I hear there were some political jingoisms in there. But as it stands right now, that was what they gave to us. And this is the woman we're talking about. What is wrong with us? You have a black movement. And this black movement is supposed to bring pride, black pride, to the black man. then it's a white woman that is fronting it, or a white man that is fronting it. Are you short of qualified black men and black women who could have championed this? I don't mind if white people are part of the movement, but to front the whole program, I have a big problem. It's the same thing. When your TV screens are full of white faces, anytime you tune into your TV to watch anything, it's white people all over. Some people have a problem with that, and I have a problem with that as well. Our children grow up seeing people who do not look like them, and they will grow up with that mentality that the only human beings we have are white people. This is not racist teaching, and the faster we came to understand this, the better. This is the Pan-Africanist. The man who claims he's coming to save Ghana. The man who claims he has a new force. The man who claims that it's a whole Pan-Africanist, and it's a white woman who is the face of the product. It's like going to make Alata Samina and you want to sell it to Africans, and it's a white woman's face that is on top of Alata Samina. Are you okay? You make a shoe in Kumasi, and then you stamp on it made in Italy. Inferiority complex. You have already started on the wrong footing. For me, it is sick, and you need healing. I'm sure if PLO Lumumba knew some of these things, he would have refused to come. And I'm sure if Arikana, Chowimbori, Kwao knew about this, she would have refused to come. And if Julius Malema knew this, knowing who he is, he would have refused. I don't know about Peter Obi. I don't know too much about him. But these people would have refused to come. I would have refused. If I was invited to come and make a speech on this platform, and I got to know that this was the guy fronting it, I will ask questions. First, you are the face of a white woman. And the white woman was the one fronting the whole thing for a black movement. A movement that you claim is Pan-Africanist. Do you know what it means to say Pan-Africanism? You know the definition? It is an intellectual movement of black people seeking to be independent financially and economically. That is the definition of Pan-Africanism. Intellectual movement of black people who seek to be free from the chains of economic bondage and suppression. So I have a problem. And again, the smart guy brought all these wonderful people that people have endorsed already, according to PLO Lumumba, without being told that, oh, it's a new political party and I want to be the president of that new political party. From the interview we had from PLO Lumumba, he said he didn't know about it, and that was not why he was here. He was here for Pan-Africanism. The same argument. Yes, if he knew that this man was going to claim to be a presidential aspirant of the same movement and so on and so forth, I am sure that Lumumba would have taken some steps back to think twice before coming on a platform like this. In the world of Pan-Africanism, do not be too quick to endorse people. You can support them from the periphery, but do not be too quick to endorse them, because we have seen many people who have come and destroyed us. Now, on a little bit of a personal level, brother here who wants to be the president of the nation, from the little things I know about him, when he came, we were always so happy about him, jumping left, right, and center, loving him and all that, because of his philanthropic works and all that, and the business mind and all that. But information started coming in. Oh, people actually work for him. And when they go to get paid, there's trouble. He doesn't want to pay. He threatens them and all that. And I have been a witness of at least one of those incidents. A number of girls who had worked for Mr. Caesar, and he was not ready to pay them because he claimed that something. We had to come in and resolve that. And then it happened again to some other people. And I told myself, this must be this person's character. And he's so quick to boast that he has money and he can buy everybody. A guy like that is dangerous to be president. You know, people cannot say Blakk Rasta says those things, man, because it's the bigger picture. Nobody is bigger than the truth. I don't like anyone who claims that they have money. You understand? I have all the money and I can do anything that I wish. What impudence of a dying cockroach. All they have is money, no common sense. They claim they love the people, yet the people work for you. Instead of being happy and embracing them and paying them their due, no, you're not ready to do that. Now you bring Pan-Africanists into the country. Everybody's excited to go and see what is happening, not knowing that you are fueling your political ambition with this. The following day, you're going to have your billboards all over the place and ask Ghanaians to vote for you as president. Interesting. So you see, these are the people we're talking about. Somebody will ask me, so what is wrong with that? So let the people who are coming on with all their credibility to support this Pan-Africanist movement, let them know, hey, there's a new political party. I am a Pan-Africanist. I believe in helping Ghana to come up and Africa to come up. So I'm bringing you here to set the tone for my presidential ambition and see how many of them would come. Do you think if any political candidate invites Blakk Rasta to come and play for them, I will go? No matter how much they pay me, I will not go. Because, my brother, we do not know what they are coming to do. And with the way politics is so dicey, you have to be careful as a Pan-Africanist who you support, especially publicly. Have I made it clear? So, Mr. Caesar, much as we love you, you still have a lot of homework to do. You need to love the people. Now let's hear what he truly said. He said, the new force movement, I am the man in the mask. And that's Cheddar talking. He said, prices of petrol and diesel were expected to drop. This is not the beginning of the story. Yes, Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Cheddar, or Freedom Jacob Caesar, has revealed that he is the man behind the new force political movement. He explained at a press conference in Accra on January 7th, that's yesterday, 2024, that he has been forced to also unveil his identity as the much-awaited man in the mask. The 43-year-old was flanked by leading political forces across Africa when he made this disclosure. Amongst them, Peter Obi of Nigeria, PLO Lumumba of Kenya, and Zimbabwe's Dr. Arikana Chihombori Kwao. Now, the trio had come to town to speak at a public lecture event dubbed the Convention, which he had organized under the brand name New Africa Foundation. So it meant that Julius Malema was not even around. He couldn't make it. Maybe he heard exactly what it was all about and decided that he would not be part of it. Maybe, I don't know. The event was cancelled at the 11th hour, with the presidency confirming that it had been cancelled for an unforeseen event scheduled for the widely announced venue, the Black Star Square in Accra. What Cheddar said. Now listen. I am nothing to be scared of. I came to you as your salvation. Listen to this strong word. I came to you as your salvation. I don't invest in myself alone. I am investing in you. He said of his plans for Ghana and Africa. We need to educate. We need to uplift our children. We need to voice out to them. You are about to find out about this man in the mask because I never spoke a word. You were looking for me. I didn't tell you whether I am into politics, whether I am an evangelist, whether I am a conventionist or a revolutionalist. Yes, a revolutionist. After this day, you would have to wait for me to share my policies and my visions with you. He stressed, he emphasized that the events of January 7 had given him enough reason to disclose his political identity. That is not true. In fact, the billboards that came out early this morning, they were premeditated. It wasn't the events of January 7 that prompted him to reveal his identity. I don't think that is true. Because we saw the billboards. As your president, all over early this morning. My brother, my sister, he says he's the salvation for Africa. To God be the glory. We all are waiting for that Kwame Nkrumah to come. We all are waiting for that Nnamdi Azikiwe to come. We all are waiting for that Robert Mugabe to come. But we must investigate their background. That's it away. We must investigate their background. We must also investigate what exactly they intend to do. We need to check all these backgrounds, find out the sources of their income and their wealth, find out how they have led their lives in the past up to now. This is what we fail to do. That is why all this while we vote charlatans into power all over Africa. Now it's time for Africans to sit back and watch the background properly. It's the Blakk Pot, aka AKUFO-ADDO, where we speak truth to power. When we return, hey, we got more. Some people are dying. Why are they dying? I will tell you that when we return. It's sad. Hey! Wayo!
Blakk Pot, AKUFO-ADDO.
This is the Blakk Pot, aka AKUFO-ADDO, where we speak truth to power. Oh my God. We again apologize for the break in the stream earlier. It was due to a power outage. Oh my God. Doom so. Our numbers are rolling on the screen. You can give us a call. You can send us a WhatsApp message. You want to do business with us? We are very ready for you. And we will make sure that your business is promoted to the best of our ability. My name is Blakk RASTA. This is the Blakk Pot. Next story by you. Watch this. And this one is heartbreaking. SHAAXI workers die mysteriously. We call them SHAAXI. And they have a way they call themselves. This is not SHAAXI. This is SHAAXI. Bring the story. Run the main story. And let's see exactly what it is. So that's the spelling. SHAAXI. So there's an N before the X and the I. It has nothing to do with SHAAXI. So we brought you SHAAXI. So you will see SHAAXI and see the difference between SHAAXI, which is something that Shatta Wale is fronting. Bring me back SHAAXI. This is SHAAXI. It is a taxi hailing network brought about by Shatta Wale. It has nothing to do with SHAAXI. This is SHAAXI. So bring an N before the X. SHAAXI. SHAAXI is a Chinese outfit. My brother, my sister. Now this Chinese outfit has been doing a lot of mining, especially in the northern region, specifically in the upper east region. In fact, there was a time there was an explosion and a number of people lost their lives. SHAAXI mine worker drops dead. A second sudden death recorded in 5 weeks. They are located in Tongo. Run the story and come here. Hey, remember this is not SHAAXI. It's SHAAXI. SHAAXI. Check it out properly. Is this the beginning of the story? Watch it. Prices of petrol and diesel were expected to drop slightly in Ghana in December 2023 as a result of a fault in the prices of finished petroleum products on the international fuels market, according to the Institute of Energy Securities, IET. But Kwesi Boabil, a mine worker at L International Group Limited, Gold Limited, was not expected to drop on duty on Thursday, 28 December 2023, and die afterwards. The employee of the Chinese firm, previously known as SHAAXI Mining Company Limited, slumped suddenly to the ground while working at the gold processing plant at the company's site in Talensi, a district in Ghana's Upper East region. He did not recover from the sudden collapse. He died on the last day of the year at the emergency ward of the Upper East Regional Hospital in Bolgatanga, the region's capital. His body was taken from the hospital 3 days later as this disconsolate crowd wailed outside the morgue in front of a setting sun and lowered 6 feet under in his hometown of Gari in Talensi. Media calls for comments pertaining to happenings inside the large-scale mining company generally now go to Albert Azongo, a radio broadcaster in the region, employed about 3 months ago to shore up the image management of a foreign company laden with countless accusations of very serious human rights transgressions. The introduction of the company's new spokesperson, tied with expectations to do the talking better than how he met it, comes a few days after Ebenezer Bognab's public relations style was openly critiqued in a textual analysis by the author of this story, Edward Adenti, in September 2023. He collapsed when he was on duty. The first person who saw him in the medical is the medical officer of the company at the site. The medical officer examined him and referred him to the hospital. He had a condition which we have established. He suffered uncontrolled hypertension. Hypertension. The uncontrolled hypertension led to stroke, and then he died of aspiration pneumonia. His family confirmed that he had been on BP, that's blood pressure medicine, for quite some time, but he hadn't been regular with the intake of the BP medication. We have a lot of other staff here who have high blood pressure, Azongo told Media Without Borders in a telephone interview on Boabil's death. Dash it away. So, my brother, Azongo is the PRO, the Public Relations Officer of SHAAXI, which now has a different name. What prompted the change of the name? Is it because of the bad press? A few years back, there was an explosion at the mine site. So many people lost their lives. SHAAXI paid some kind of compensation to families of the dead. As to what Ghana did, your guess is as good as mine. The then regional minister spoke to us on radio and promised to get back to us. Nothing happened. It looked like people were in a hurry to get the dead buried and forgotten, and nothing would be done. I have been to the area twice, and I know the amount of human atrocities and human rights abuses happening there. The people are worked like donkeys. Unhygienic conditions. A lot of them fall sick with so many respiratory sicknesses, all because of what they go through and the fact that they do not even have the proper equipment and gadgets to be able to tackle this. Yet the amount of gold they mine there is gargantuan. Chiefs in the area, my brother, my sister, are also complicit in this dirty business. The government of Ghana has given them the go-ahead. They have the correct licenses to do whatever they are doing at the expense of our people. Respiratory diseases in the area. Careless handling of explosives. They explode every now and then, and people keep dying at the so-called SHAAXI, now turned into what gold mining. How long would we keep killing millions to make billions? How many times would we come to the rescue of our people who have loaned their power to us to protect them? This is happening far away in the Upper East region. Tongo, Talensi. And the chiefs, I am told, are complicit in this whole nonsense. Chiefs who are supposed to be protecting us. Politicians who are supposed to be protecting us. Police who are supposed to be protecting us. No. They are more interested in the money. We could die like flies as long as their pockets are filled. They don't really mind. My brother, does it bring tears into your eyes? You have a brother who just got a job at SHAAXI. He goes to work. Before long, he catches a respiratory disease. Something no member of the family has ever had. Before you realize, he's dead. And SHAAXI comes to give you some coins. The next day, another brother is going there. Especially if we have people like Azongo over there explaining that people are dying from hypertension and that they are not taking their drugs regularly. Can you believe that? Can we see the autopsy results? Or somebody who is not a doctor can easily come out and tell us, oh, he wasn't taking his BP drug seriously. That's how come he died. Somebody who served the company for so long. This is how you are going to send him to his grave. Granted, he wasn't even taking his drugs. Is it for you to come and tell the whole world that he wasn't taking his medicine, so he was careless and he died? Can you imagine this? Come here, my youth. It hurts me that when people lose their lives, some people can get so careless. People like Azongo. Azongo is a journalist. He has been hired by SHAAXI. For all you know, his salary is 20 times what he was receiving in the Bulgar outfit where he was working. After all, journalists in Ghana are paid like a joke. For all you know, his salary there was 250 Ghana cedis. Now SHAAXI decides to give him 10 times that. We'll give you 2,500 Ghana cedis. To make it even worse, we'll give you 20 times that. You will take 5,000 a month. He will support SHAAXI over his own people. This is the case. He's been so careless. Oh, he wasn't taking his BP medicine. And then that's why he collapsed. And this is the second time somebody is collapsing and dying on the premises of SHAAXI. I have traveled around the world. I went to Guyana. I went to some other places. And I saw how mine workers are treated. They test your eyes. They test you well before they unleash you into the mining pits. I can bet that at SHAAXI, they don't do any of this. What is the human rights records there like? What is welfare like in the area? Are they fed on site? Do they have a kitchen where they make food for them to eat? Do they have clean drinking water? May we know their activities. Is that destroying the water body there? Because I went to a water body there right after Tongo. There's a village next. And the water was all like Milo. Is it because of their activity? So the people of Tongo, if you do not start demonstrating, nobody will come and fight for you. Your brothers and sisters are going to keep dying on the site of SHAAXI. And because you don't care, those of you who see any light skin as your God, continue. And the chiefs there who have no respect for themselves and the culture of the people, who have more respect for the Chinese, the Lebanese, the Indians, the Americans, and all those people, more than the respect they have for their own traditional journey. It's on to you. The last time I went into this issue was when there was a bomb blast, dynamite exploding, and all those who died were people of Tongo and Bolgatanga. No Chinese person died. They push you all to the dangerous places, yet they take all the big salaries. They push you to the pits. They push you to where the explosives are. They push you to where the dangerous machines are. Machines that they hardly service. They push you there to go and work those machines whilst they sit quietly and smoke cigarette and bonto. And you are there, catching respiratory diseases and dying. Yet you are not even paid well. Just yesterday when I started my investigations on this, a native of Tongo, name withheld, told me that now so many people are rushing to go and work there. You know why? Because their salaries are good. And I asked him, how much do they pay? He said, once you are employed there, your base salary is 5,000 Ghana cedis. How much is 5,000 Ghana cedis? That's less than 500 American dollars. And that's 1 month. And you go and work under some of the most unhealthy conditions ever. You catch respiration diseases. You catch diseases. Sometimes explosives end your life. And careless PROs will come and say, oh, they weren't taking their drugs. Oh, they were drinking too much alcohol. Oh, this other person died because there was a record of hypertension and he wasn't taking his BP drugs good. Tongo, Talense, Ghana. Is this the life you want? Where is your independence? I leave it here. It's the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kuku Should we bring back that story and let's read a little bit more of it and you'll see some things that will overwhelm you. Yes. Now that story published by Ghana Web, when you read further, it will break your heart. It will break your heart. I'm telling you that. It will break your heart. His name is Albert Azongo. And he is a radio broadcaster in the region. And he was employed 3 months ago to shore up the image of management of a foreign company laden with countless accusations of very serious human rights transgressions. Next page. Hey. Now he says the man was not taking his drugs. He was suffering from blood pressure, hypertension. That's how come he died. And he was telling this to Media Without Borders, an international outfit. Aspiration pneumonia, according to medics, is an infection of the lungs caused by inhaling saliva, food, liquid, vomit, and even small foreign objects. It is not clear if Boabel inhaled any fume, liquid or solid, before he collapsed at the processing plant. But a relative is quoted to have said he observed some streaks of blood in the nostrils of the 37-year-old at death through tragedies recorded 5 weeks apart. My God. And watch this. Boabel died about 5 weeks after his fellow employee, Eric Frimpong, died through an accident inside the company's yard. A blast man, Frimpong, suffered a fatal accident on Friday, 17th November 2023, while he was setting up some rocks underground for blasting. He was assigned to carry out that exercise And reports suggest that he was actually almost done with the assignment. And whilst attempting to come out, he noticed another huge rock which was loose and decided to connect the particular rock for blasting. He did that. And after doing that, he was returning. And what we call a wedge, that's a loose rock about 10 meters long, came down on him. He was quickly rendered dead. The company recorded multiple serious accidents in 2023. The question is, do they even train them before they employ them? Do they? On Wednesday, 17th May 2023, Godfred Nabil lost his arm on duty to a machine in the company's yard. His family said the company abandoned him after paying his initial hospital bills. He lost an arm after they pushed him into some of the old, obsolete machines. And when that was done, his hand gone. They paid his initial bills and then they left him. After all, there are more people who can replace him. Bognab, the company's spokesperson, contacted at the time by this media outlet for comments on the plight of the abandoned 24-year-old, declined to speak. On Monday, 10th July 2023, the company's electrician, Victor Ayini, went missing while on duty inside the company's yard. He went missing. Why, is it a miracle? Ayini's lifeless body was pulled out of a pool of the mining company's wastewater the following day after his younger brother, Jonathan, and some other relatives who had sat through a sleepless night because Ayini did not return home the previous day, appeared at the company site and demanded his whereabouts. Again, Bognab declined to comment when the author of this report contacted him last year on Ayini's death. So these were the reasons that made them sack Bognab, and then they brought in Albert Azongo. And Azongo is talking, and he's also talking carelessly. Oh, his BP drugs, he wasn't taking it. He was not taking his drugs. He was supposed to be taking the drugs. He wasn't taking the drugs. And then he was coming here. It was your duty to be sure that he was taking his drugs. You were supposed to be sure that he was healthy enough to be put to work with your machines. Whilst he was on site working, he collapsed and died. Now you are quick to say he wasn't taking his BP medicine. Thomas Agombire, a Ghana Health Service nurse, currently uses crutches and prostheses, an artificial leg, alternatively to aid his daily movements between his house and his workplace in Bolgatanga. He was knocked down from his own motorcycle and ran over in 2019 with a Toyota Land Cruiser owned by the Chinese company with registration number WX888-18. So it looks like this company is just there to cause havoc. If people are not blasted and killed there, then they are collapsed and dying, or their cars are going around hitting and killing people. And our authorities are here. The mining authorities, the Environmental Protection Agency authority, have they been able to check it out to see that they are working under good environmental conditions? We don't care. We only sit down for people to die. Then we go and say we are taking action. That shit out. When you read this, you will cry. That's why I didn't want to read it. When you read it on and on, there are more serious atrocities in there. When we return, we will be reading your messages. Until then, it's the Blakk Ball. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot. Coco show them, man.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Showman. Here we speak truth to power. Let your comments flow. All right? All right. So, Asima Banda one says, welcome, Blakk, for another week with the legendary Blakk Rasta. Thank you. Now, Bon Pyramid says, a very big thank you to those of us who have families and to the society as at large, right? Okay, to those of us who our families and societies see as deviants and wayward people. But deep down our hearts, we stand for the truth. Godwin Zah says, knowledge is about to speak. Danny Man says, God bless Blakk. And then Asensu Koli says, good work, Blakk Rasta, watching you live in Dubai. Respect my youth. Kweku Embil is Brother Kweku all the way in Chicago. And he says, a true journalist puts aside personal feelings and biases to report the facts. Facts, not feelings. Well, that is why we always report the facts and not feelings. Yes, facts. But sometimes we also put in a lot of passion. I mean, when you have passion for your nation, you make sure that you report with all the facts, you know, surrounded with passion. Danny Man says, from Delaware, I send my respect to magicians of resilience, my wonderful Ghanaians. And then Flacco Harlem TV says, Happy New Year, Mr. Blakk. May Allah protect and guide you always. Now, Bon Pyramid says, good evening, brother Blakk Rasta. AKUFO-ADDO's cancellation of the Black Star Line Festival is very sad and shameful. Certainly, it's a shameful thing, and I'm so embarrassed. Yes. That is why we put in all the passion in there. Yes. Godsway Jata says, live in Kumasi. Kojo One Fool says, greetings, Blakk Rasta. And Nabon Pyramid says, I am watching you live, sitting by a river side, okay, with my friend. Positive vibration. Keep the fire burning, big bro. Respect. And then Edward Esial says, Blakk Rasta, be careful with this Prudy advert. What's the problem? I would need you to be able to come out with the, problem. Let me know what the problem is. Just be careful. It's not enough. Let's know what the problem is, my brother. Yeah? Islam speaks. And then, Blakk, thank you for inquiring about the specific topic I wish to discuss, but I commented during the live broadcast of the Black Pot program throughout your tenure, which I am unsetting precisely. Well, I don't know what really you're talking about, but, you know, I appreciate that. That the man says, is said in an ancient oratory, we do not inherit the earth. We borrowed it from our children. Okay. We did not inherit the earth. We borrowed it from our children. Oh, wow. That is deep, isn't it? Very deep. Islam Speaks says, when it began, but encompassed from 2011 until your regrettable dispatcher from multimedia, your African history class was intellectually profound, enlightening, and educational. Oh, yes, we still have the African history class, and right now we are on 3FM 92.7. We take that as a compliment. We always research good. You know, yes, once in a while we might slip because this is history. And we have many more people there who know quite some good history. And when they draw our attention to this, we learn more and then we bring more. You know, a man never stops learning. Paul Skimo says, greetings, Blakk Rasta. And then Islam Speaks says, I am curious if you are undertaking any efforts to preserve and document the wealth of intellectual work that you give out. Well, yes, we are documenting it as long as it's on the internet. It will continue to be there. And then, yeah, we keep learning. Islam Speaks says, I would greatly appreciate any opportunity to contribute towards documenting the lectures into a book. This book would serve as an invaluable intellectual legacy for Ghana and the broader Africa. Well, these people are making me feel really, really important and really intellectual, you know. Says, you know, they want to document the things that I say. And There are some people too who think that I'm speaking nonsense. And there are some other people who just don't want to, watch, but they watch because they have to watch. Thanks so much. I mean, I appreciate this. On a more serious note, Jacob Blessing says more fire, Blakk. And then Big J Jawam says it's another day with the black pot, and I am here to listen to wisdom. Wayo. Fenway Ings, especially Peter Obi, his humility is unmatched. Oh, wow. All right? I don't know him too much, but if you say so, I like people who are humble. We are a humble people, right? Fenway continues to say, I wish Obi was a Ghanaian, so you could be his running mate, and the rest would be history. Not me, brethren. Politics is not my thing. I like to support from the periphery. I like to support from the circumference. And I also love to look at the bigger picture. We'll push those who have the bright minds so that they can do it. But at least we have to be convinced that they can do the work before we unleash them to our following, right? That's a responsible way of thinking. You can't bring people into your classroom who you have not tested to see if they are able and capable, right? Azomeni Francis says, our leaders are suffering from dementia. All right. So Danny Man says, he says some of our leaders are full of pride, and this is dangerous as a leader. And Islam Speaks says, Blakk, thank you for inquiring about the specific topic I wish to discuss when I commented during the live broadcast of the Black Pot program. Well, it's a repeated thing. All right. And Paul Skimo says, certain people oppose emancipation to serve their personal agenda, placing their self-interest above the liberty of their citizens. Oh, yes. They hate it when they are exposed. Well, it is so. I mean, politics is full of greedy people, left, right, and center. That's why I do not want to be a politician. I've never wanted to be one, right? I remember when I was a little boy, a lot of the elders would pray and say, may you be the president of the nation. But growing up, I said, no, this is a curse. No, I don't want to be the president of the nation. I want to be the one who will make the president, so that I can always call him to book, right? It's better. Because if I become the president, who calls me to book? You understand? In a country where nobody can call the president to book. You see that? All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then he says, I am curious if you are taking any efforts to preserve and document this wealth of intellectual work. Well, we are doing that. Stephen Banda says, Blakk, my boy said, Wayoy, Black Rasta. And I also say, Wayoy. Okay, so Mawunyo Lumo says, Blakk, Happy New Year. If this boy is starting his political career with lies, what will happen if he becomes a president? Well, I don't think that I'll be very harsh enough to say that he's starting with lies. But I will just say that he's starting it politically. Politicians are very political, full of tricks. I know that these are the people I'm bringing to come and speak, but if I tell the authorities, they will not agree. So I'll tell them I'm having a musical concert with a few speeches. Before they realize, I bring the people they don't want to see, but they've given us permission already. But this is a draconian country. They can stop you at any time because they have no respect for laws, unfortunately. And I'm very sad. They should have just allowed the people to speak. But again, Shaddai decided to bring the people to inflame his own political ambition. And I say it again. It's a black movement. You understand? It's okay if we have white people in there. But the face of the black movement is a white woman from Belgium. I have a problem. I honestly have a problem. Does it make me a racist? Does it? I don't think so. I'm waiting to see an American movement that has the face of a Kenyan or the face of a Ghanaian as the leader or the face of the movement. What are you telling the people? Paul Schimo says certain people oppose emancipation to serve their personal agenda. I think we read that. Elizabeth Mensah says secrecy and clandestine dealings always end in disaster and disgrace. I know where this quote is coming from. All right, clandestine. Well, honestly, I still think that they should have still allowed the speeches to go on. There are a lot of people who are mentored by these great people who came into the country. What are you doing that you are hiding from the public? That PLO Lumumba might say it. That Dr. Arikana might say it. That Peter Obi might say it. Or maybe Julius Malema, the fireman. Freedom of speech has been demeaned. Let's look at it deeply. Let's look at it very deeply. All right. Keep your comments coming in. We'll take the last batch later in the show. Come here. Next story, my youth. All right. And this one says, taboo as young man loses investment. I was drawn to this story by my professor, Professor Albion Mens. This is a young man here. He came all the way from foreign, as the Rasta man would say, and we will say from abroad. He decided to establish a school in the land of his birth. In fact, his village of birth in the BA. He established a school, taking care of so many children, all for free. And in order to give them good protein, he decided to rear goats in the area. But he's a native of the area. He knows that goats are a taboo in the area. In the area, their culture is against goats. I don't know if they eat goat meat or not. But they don't rear goats there. Should I tell you what I know? They actually eat goats, but they don't rear goats. So if you want to eat goat, you go to another town where their tradition allows them to rear the goat. Get the goat meat and come and eat it, cook it and eat. But the goat meat is not supposed to come from live goats which are reared on the land. We have so many such traditions across Africa. They might sound ridiculous, but they are embedded in tradition and culture, and we don't disrespect tradition and culture. But the sad thing is, the young man came to open a whole big farm, invested hundreds of thousands of American dollars into this. And then, sadly, the Queen Mother called him and said, you know what? You know goats are not allowed on this land? He said, yes, I know, but I saw a lot of goats in the area, so I thought that the tradition is now outmoded. He said, tradition can never be outmoded. No goats. We have given you 3 weeks to get rid of all the goats. That night, some people came from the chief's palace and killed all the goats in the area. All the goats in the day, hacked them and killed them. But they reserved the goats in this man's farm because they had given him 3 weeks to get them out, or else his goats would share in the predicament of the other goats. Number one, I am sad because this is animal abuse. My brother, if you don't allow the rearing of goats in your town, does it mean those who rear them, you must kill the goats? Why don't you punish those who are rearing the goats? Why must the goats suffer because of the people who brought them there? Because you don't have any respect for the life of the goats. The goats did not force themselves to be there. It's people who brought them there. If anything at all, punish the people who brought them there. Then you take machetes and cut off the heads and limbs of the goats. That is tradition. At least carry the goats, take them away and give to schools that are ready to slaughter them and eat them. At least. Or take them to other areas and free them. But they killed all the goats. Run the story. Man who invested over 1 million Ghana cedis for 5 years in goat rearing facing eviction over taboo. The founder and CEO of Semanshia Learning and Development Farms, a prominent livestock breeding facility at Blakk, SHAAXI, Frederick Bennett Frimpong, has disclosed that the chiefs of the Blakk area have asked that he evacuated his goats from the land in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, not even 3 weeks. According to him, the evacuation, the chiefs explained, is due to a long-standing taboo that banishes goats from the town. He explained that despite the existence of the taboo since his childhood, it was not exactly followed until a recent funeral of a chief prompted the slaughter of stray goats to enforce the taboo. Dash it away. So you see, that is the story. My brother, the fact that the tradition is there and people are not following it doesn't mean you should also break it. True? The fact that the traffic is red and people are crossing doesn't mean that you should also go and cross it. But that notwithstanding, I want to sympathize with you. Probably you felt that your farm was in the bush and no humans would come and encounter these animals. And you also believe that you were feeding these goats to the school children. And for that matter, that would have been good. But may I ask, is it only goats you can rear? How about sheep that are allowed in the area? How about cows? How about fowls? If the children require meat, flesh of animals, how about goats? Or they have developed a certain high taste for goat meat that they don't want to eat sheep. They don't want to eat beef. They don't want to eat chicken. I'm just asking. I sympathize with you, brethren. But the good thing is that you are just going to carry the goats out of the area. Sell them and use the money to buy a different livestock. That's if you are still interested in livestock farming. At least you would stay away from the roving eyes of the traditional authority. Does it make sense? Come here. I want to ask one last question. Should we still respect our traditions? Should we or should we not? Or should we not? Our traditions, are they important? Are they not important? Well, this is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. We had one more issue we're going to look at, but it looks like we are having some power fluctuation. Yes, left, right, and center. So we'll leave it here. I want to say I apologize, and I want to say thank you so much for being part of this. To God be the glory. We'll catch you again tomorrow, same time, 5. Wayo.